If I were to ask you how you feel about politics in America today, what would your response be? Are you pretty happy with how things are going? Are you pissed off? Are you ambivalent? I'm curious. I want to know. Put it in the comments below. But first, let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why this video even exists. My name is Rocky Pedden, and welcome to my channel, The Renewed Republic. The purpose of this channel is to identify all the things that are politically wrong with this country, things that feel bad, but that we put up with, and we have put up with for a long time. If you're like me, you feel disenfranchised with how things are going. And not just at the national level, because I don't like President Trump. I don't think he's a great president. But even my own party, I think the DNC is failing Democrats. I feel like the last candidates that we've put up as opponents to President Trump have been subpar political figureheads. They've been bad at their jobs or not capable of doing the job altogether. And I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated, and that ultimately is why I'm here today. I finally decided to get off my butt and start talking about it publicly. I think about these things a lot. I have read and researched a lot about not only America's political past, but also other countries. What are other countries doing? What's successful? Why aren't we copying them? Why is it that we have put up in this country for so long with subpar outcomes in education and healthcare, in the ability and the affordability, I should say, to buy homes for the middle class? Like, I'm pissed off because every time I look around me, every time I look or I drive through a rural community, I see immense opportunity. But then I don't see any policy to help the average American succeed or to give them the building blocks in society to be successful in life. And man, I just gotta say, it just pisses me off. Especially when you compare and contrast that to how the fat cats on Wall Street are doing. Billionaires and millionaires, CEOs at corporations, getting their golden handcuffs and golden parachutes and golden everything else, while the average American, the workers at those companies, are left with the scraps. That is not the intent of what this country is supposed to be. And so that's what this channel is here to do. It's here to fix it. And maybe we don't fix it directly, but at least at a minimum, it's here to address the issues that we see and to provide answers or solutions on how we can tackle those problems pragmatically, realistically, and not just like, oh, we need universal health care. No, we do need universal health care, but how do we pay for it? How do we make sure that people actually utilize it? What is the outcome going to be? What does that look like on a balance sheet or a P&L statement? I run a small marketing agency, and a big part of my job is understanding cash flow and being able to read those statements on a monthly basis. And I want to look at these problems through that lens, because right now, that's one of the things that really, really bothers me is this idea that we just keep on racking up debt. And look, I get it. The federal government isn't necessarily here to be run as a profitable company. That's not the purpose of the federal government. However, we shouldn't be saddling our kids and our grandkids with massive amounts of debt that they're never going to be able to pay off. So this is my promise. I'm going to go through the last 50 years of political history in the United States. I'm not going to dig into every nook and cranny, but I am going to look at the major events that have happened that have defined our country over those decades. I'm going to look at the problems that we have created, the problems that we have just pushed and brushed under the rug every generation until this point where we can no longer do that. We have an obligation, a responsibility to not only our fellow countrymen, but also to, like I said, the next generation of Americans. How do we set them up for success? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to explore the history of this country. We're going to explore what other countries are doing, how they're solving these problems. We're going to look at things like universal health care. We're going to look at things like climate. We're going to look at things like regenerative agriculture and how do we feed our population effectively. We're going to look at all those things and then some. We're going to look at all the things that are influencing the day-to-day life of your average American. And then we're going to start putting solutions on the table on how we move the needle. If we get big enough, if we get enough people engaged in this channel, then we can make a difference. We can start putting these things in front of the DNC. We can demand more. We can organize. And we can require that the DNC listen to us. Or we can form our own party. I have friends who say they think that it's too far gone, that we can't fix it, that we can't bring it back to life. And I don't agree. I think we can. I think we can rebuild the American dream. I think we can renew the republic. I really do. So if that's interesting to you, if you're tired of the status quo, if you want to make a difference, get involved. Hit subscribe, follow along, but more importantly, add your thoughts, add your voice. That's what we have. That's all we have, really, is our voice. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What are you willing to do about it?